Welcome. Craig Conroy, Don Maloney, Ryan Huska. Congrats, Huska, on the brand new contract.
Thank you.
On behalf of everybody here. This is great because we get to put more of your questions to work, and I know you guys are tired of my questions, so instead we'll get a few here from the paper. First one's going to be from Kara Lineweber, and it's Craig Conroy. So, Connie, this one's for you. It's about what excites you the most about the Flames' current prospect pool and future pipeline.
Well, you know, probably the thing that excites me the most is just to see the skill and the amount of compete and work ethic that these guys have shown in their own league. And now they're, some are actually here. With Zane last night, we got Gridden here. You got a lot of young guys that are pushing already, but even Henry Muse had 3 assists last night in his first college game. So as you look, we're looking, Stocksilius is off to a great start in Sweden. I just think, everywhere we look, having Battaglia be the captain of Kingston, the Frontenacs, it's coming. I know it takes a little bit longer for guys. Everybody wants to be here today. Thank you. So, I think the young guys are coming, and it's exciting, and I think with the way it is now on the internet, you guys all get to watch them. You hear the names. Maybe you didn't know before we drafted them, but now you get to watch them. And it's just exciting to see how many good young prospects are in the pipeline. And they're going to be pushing these veteran guys. And, when we want them to. We want them to be here. We want that competition because that's how we're going to get better.
This next one's for Husk. It's from Kendrick Andrews, who asks, last season the team ranked 29th in team scoring. With the majority of the same group remaining, how do you look to increase that stat?
That's a good question. I probably answer that 2 ways. Last year we had some of our players that are guys that we rely on to generate offense. Analytically, I guess you could say they had some down years in regards to shooting percentages. So my expectation is we're going to see a bounce back from a lot of those players, and it's important that we do see that from those guys. Second thing, there's some things we're going to try to do system-wise as well, where we have to increase zone time, more time in the offensive zone, and one big thing for us will be more traffic around the net. So we have a big body like Adam Klapka that's going to be around the net a lot, and hopefully he can create a little bit more chaos for us in front of opposing goaltenders.
And just that's a stat too, like shot percentage. You kind of look, it's going to have ups and downs, but a lot of times corrects itself over time. Is that fair?
It usually does, yeah. And along that note, the players know. So I think there's a little bit more urgency on their part to get them back to the normal levels where they expect to be at.
Another one for Connie, and this one's from Ian Gordon. It says, what kind of locker room culture are you trying to build, and how important is this opposed to just skill alone? And maybe Don can weigh in on that one too.
Yeah, obviously, when you're close with your teammates and you're willing to do everything, it doesn't matter who scores, who gets the glory in a night-in, night-out basis. It's about winning games and being together, and I think that starts with the culture, and that's just the guys caring about each other. Obviously, it's easy when everybody wants to be the star, but it's all that dirty work you have to do too to help the team win. So, we try to build the culture, but that really starts with Ryan and his staff and really the leadership group. And we got a great leadership group, and you saw it last year, how those guys came together. If you ever get to watch the chase, you get to see behind the scenes how much these guys enjoy being together. So culture's a huge thing, but we still love some skill.
And this maybe kind of plays into that, Husk. It's from Chris Nonis, who wants to know, how would you describe your coaching philosophy?
Good question. Was it Chris? Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
For me, it's I think probably very simple. It's hard work. Number one, I believe in. Number two is team. That it's always team first, and then there is a checking first mentality. And I feel like if you have a group that's committed to those things, everything else kind of falls into place. So that's, I guess, how I would describe my coaching philosophy.
Don, let's get you in here. This one's from Mitchell Randall, who says, how do teams, coach and general manager, provide feedback to the league on refs, linesmen, on their performance, or receive clarification on calls that occurred during the game? And if you could provide a specific example. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's, most times you'll see it on TV when we disagree with a call. But really, it's quite frank. The NHL do really encourage the officials to communicate. You see a lot of times with Ryan on the bench, if there's something, they're always constantly talking to him. Same when we're up in the box and we watch something, Craig can get on the phone with Stephen Walkham, who's the head of officials in the NHL. And as long as you approach, it's like anything else, as long as you approach them with a nice and a calm manner. It doesn't happen very much with Craig, but they can certainly, they'll listen to you. And we're all trying to make it. And the reason we ask the questions, we all go to games and see calls, you say, how could they make that call? And we just want to be able to tell our players after the games when they come to us, or here's what they saw. And really, everybody's trying to make the game as good as it can be. And all in all, I think they do a pretty good job, the officials.
So you're saying it's about the tone you use. It's your tone?
Pretty much, yeah.
Husk, maybe just as a follow-up quickly, because you're kind of live in the moment too. I mean, how have you approached that, or has that changed over your career? Just about how you communicate with the officials?
I even feel like in my years as a head coach here, it's changed a lot. Early on, like Craig and I would talk about it a lot. They would go to other benches, wouldn't come to ours. But now over the last little bit, it's changed pretty significantly, and I think the communication from the referee's side to the coaches is changed a lot. So there isn't as much headbutting with referees as you move forward here, and I think that's the proper way to go.
This one is for Craig, and it's from Neil Brandemark, who says, with the salary cap set to rise dramatically over the coming years, do you see the Flames spending to the cap for free agents?
I like them for sure. The one thing I can tell everybody, and since I've been on this side and when I retired, since 2011, we've always spent to the cap. So ownership's committed. Obviously, right now we're not at the cap, but we have to make sure we get the right players. We have to save our money, and when the right players come along, we'll be a cap team, and we'll be allowed to spend to the cap, and it's never changed. And you talk to ownership, and as we move forward and we get the new building, whatever we need at our disposal, they're going to give to us, and that means spending right to the cap.
Husk, this next was from Mike DiBiaso. Sorry about that. What goes into making lineups each night is chemistry and what other team puts out, or what the other team puts out, and what is it that goes into it?
Chemistry is for sure one thing. When you look at your forward lines, there's always two guys that you try to fit together as much as possible, and you hope that there's connection with them. And then at times, the third partner on that line, I guess, would be a guy that maybe is interchangeable. But chemistry is a really big thing. Your opponent is a big thing in regards to deciding on who's in your lineup and who's out of your lineup on any given day, whether the team that you're playing against is really big and heavy or if they're a really fast skating team. All those come into play. And I think the other one is even during the course of a game, there are going to be players that are going to be really having good games. And at that time, coaches make the switch there where we want to elevate this player because things are happening for him. So we want to get him on the ice more often. So sometimes that comes into play as well when you're trying to set your lineups and manage the game.
This next one, Don, Craig, either one of you could weigh in on this one, but it's from Terrence Wall. How much weight do you place on advanced analytics when making roster or in-game decisions? Obviously, in-game would fall more Husk, but compared to traditional scouting and coaching input?
I think it's a new tool, and it's something we use a lot, and it gives us another bit of information. Sometimes you have the eye test, you have all the other things you're trying to do, but if after a game and we put two people together, say it's a different pairing on defense, are they really good? Have they been successful? Who might be good together? So you look at all that, you weigh it, we bring it to Husk, and then in the end, Husk is going to make that decision, whether it's, I'm going to try it. And one thing I'll say about Husk is he's always willing and open to trying different things. If we bring him some ideas, great. And a little bit on the analytics from, you can't be, we only have so many scouts. We can't be everywhere in the world, but the analytics can be. And we pick a lot of that up, and we can really target players that we think, maybe we haven't had any reports on them, but their analytics are really good. And then we'll send in our scouts to watch them. And now, the analytics say one thing, what are the scouts saying? And then we'll make some decisions from there. But it really does help. There's just so many players, and it's such a big world that you don't want to miss anybody. But I think analytics has come a long ways, and we're going to use it to our full advantage for sure.
Yeah, it's really, in the last 10 years, has exploded. I mean, there's so much information out there. You can watch every game almost worldwide is broadcast, not only from the NHL pro level, the junior level, the high school level. you get those games, you can break them all down, so we have a whole analytics staff that are constantly evaluating not only our team, the NHL, the AHL, the junior, the college, and it's just making use of the information right now. It's become a real tool. We don't make decisions without checking with our analytics department, see where they're at, and they'll find things that we might not agree with, but they also point out things that maybe we miss. So it's really you try and get as much information as possible, and make your best decisions.
All right, this next one is from Wade Kunas. It's for Husk. It's really about one of your newest assistants. How does bringing in a former NHL talent with Dave Lowry to the coaching staff, and maybe his daughter Tessa, who spent some time with you in training camp as well, help with developing the young talent on the team, specific to Dave?
Well, we can talk about young talent, but I think you can also talk about developing a coaching staff. So Dave has had a great playing career, over 1,000 games played in the NHL. He's coached at basically every level for the last 12, 15 years, whatever it is. The experience that he brings into the dressing room is invaluable to the coaching staff, number one, because he's got a kind of a cool, calm demeanor about him, but he sees the game and understands the game so very well that the points that he makes are very beneficial to all of our staff members. When it comes to a young player, the experience and how to handle, whether you're like a Zane Perek or a Matvey Gridden. Dave's coached junior hockey for a while too, so he understands that age bracket and he understands how to get through to a player, and he has a way of being able to teach them that was junior hockey, but now we've got to shift gears and be ready to play in the National Hockey League. And with his experience and his demeanor, his firmness along the way, he's already been someone that I've seen the players gravitate to on a daily basis. So we're really excited about having Dave as part of our coaching staff.
Don, this one is from you from Akash Gulati, who has the question: what is the future looking like for the Wranglers? Is the experiment of moving the team back to Calgary a success, and will it continue?
Oh, 100%. I mean, to talk about a home run, to have the Wranglers in Calgary here, that we have such great access to them, it's a game changer for us. Not only has it helped us attract depth players, knowing that a player will sign, probably in all reality thinking he'll start the season in the AHL, but the ability to bring them up, send them down, they don't have to go back to a different city or a different home, leave their families. It's been invaluable, and more so from a development end of it. Our whole development staff is here in Calgary. In the past, when the team was when the team was in some other location, development people would have to go there, spend a little time there, come back home. Now they're here constantly. That they're constantly getting evaluated, getting helped, whether it's skating coach, skills coach, nutrition. There's nothing we can't provide here in Calgary for our AHL team, and quite frankly, most of them need it more than the NHL. The NHLers have made it. We're obviously constantly creating an environment that's as good as any team in the NHL. But it's the AHL, when we can give that type of focus for these young players, and especially where we are now as a team, since Craig's been in, we've had such a focus more on younger people, bringing them along, getting them into our system, and pushing them. And when we bring a player to the Wranglers, our job is to get that player to the NHL. We've got a whole staff to do it. So they're not going anywhere. It's great for us. I think Ryan said it last night when we were talking. I think we had 35, 36 players played in the NHL for us last year. So about half the Wrangler team saw some time with the Flames last year. It's such a great city. There's a big event actually coming in November here. On a little side note, the CHL are having a CHL game against the U.S. top prospect game, and the game's going to be right here in Calgary on the 25th. And we've got Cole Rushney. Hopefully, he's now playing in college this year. He's got a chance to be here with the Canadian team. Corey Potter, he's one of our first-round picks from last year. He hopefully is going to be here to play for the U.S. team. So again, it's just the environment we've had here. We've tried to create to bring people in to show off the city. It's great to have the new building coming next door. It's all bodes very, very well for our future.
There you see up on your screens too. If you want to take a look, tickets to are on sale now. November 25th is that game, the CHL USA Top Prospects game here at the Scotiabank Saddledome. So Yeah, obviously, we got time for a couple more here. Craig Conroy, Jesse Thomas has the question, what are the Flames doing to make themselves a desirable organization for players and personnel alike to be part of?
You know, I think the one thing, the way we treat our players, you know, what we're trying to do, obviously with having a new rink coming soon is exciting. But I think when you talk to our players and the players are out in the media, they're the ones that really sell Calgary and the Flames. I mean, they love it here. You know, Dustin Wolf signing for 7 years, staying here all summer. Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's not just lip service. You know, Lomberg was here. Baller was here all year. Those are the guys. I mean, it's becoming a place where people want to come and play, but it starts, you know, and really a lot of you. I mean, they come, they see what it's like. Other teams know what it's like when the building's full and the Flame are playing. It's such a big part of this city, and I think people are seeing that. But again, the new arena is going to help. You know, we do everything first class. The Flames, we don't skip on anything. You know, we do the best we can with what we have, and I think that kind of spreading around the league. You know, it's a good place to play. It's a great city to live in, and I think we're turning the tide, and it's a place people are going to be coming in the future.
Well said. All right, last one for Husk. It's from Shanice Blow, who has the question, what made you want to be a hockey coach and who inspired you to pursue it?
I don't know if it was inspired so much. When I was playing in the minors, my last year in the minors, I was never good enough to be a player. But I was sitting in the dressing room one day, and one of the assistant coaches, Steve Sterling was his name, sat down beside me and was talking about my game a little bit. And he said, have you ever thought about being a coach?
It's not what you want to hear as a player at the time, probably.
So at first I was like, no, but I kind of get what you're saying. So after that, because I always wanted to play in the NHL, I thought, okay, well, I know this isn't going to happen playing-wise. I have to find a different avenue, and having a chance to stay and coach to start with in Kelowna and then being able to work my way up, it's the best job in the world. I can tell you that much. You know, along the way, you meet a lot of great people. Call them mentors or people that you call for advice. There's all sorts of people around there that I've used along the way, and they've helped me along the way. But I would say that Steve Sterling and that fairly frank conversation when I was still playing set that path in motion.
Thank you, Steve. This last question we'll squeeze in here is for Don. It's from Ray Hoppins, who says, when you compare the life of a Calgary Flames player in 2025-26 to your life as a player, what's the same, what's different? They want some comparisons.
Well, it really is. We've come a long way. If you think, I think you probably have to be over 40 years old or older to kind of understand the first point. The way we travel now is obviously we private charter everywhere. It's second to none. Back when I played, we flew commercial, and if you remember back then, they had you could smoke on planes. So you'd go up to row 15 was non-smoking, and then 15 to 25 was smoking, and then 25 to 30 was non-smoking. So it's a whole different environment. I do think when this is late 70s through the 80s, when I played, you get drafted, you're really on your own. You know, the team would draft you, and then you train on your own. You don't have any real direction on what you should be doing or not doing in the off season. Now what we do with the players, as soon as we draft a player, we are immediately on them. We have a development staff that gets on them, and we provide everything we possibly can to push them to be the best players they can be, whether it's skating coach, strength coach, nutritionist. We bring them in the summertime when we can. Our whole goal is to develop players for the franchise. So it's been just like the way we've all seen where salaries have gone and where the cap has gone. The investment we make in our players is, which every team you have to do. So I would say that to me is probably the biggest thing. When I played, you were sort of on your own to kind of figure out what you have to do to get to the NHL. And now, as soon as you're drafted, we're there and we're holding your hand and we're dragging you along, and we try and do everything possible to get players to the NHL.
Gentlemen, thank you. Craig Conroy, Don Maloney, and Ryan Huska joining us. Thanks for your time, and thanks for all the intel.
Thank you.